The Illinois Curriculum Revitalization Project, a project funded by the Illinois State Board of Education, presents Star City Sports, a virtual Enterprise International course which teaches students about business, entrepreneurship, finance, economics, and technology through a task-based curriculum and hands-on activities.
All right, I'm Nick. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for Star City Sports. I'm going to share a little bit about what I like about the program and reflect on it a little bit. This year was definitely a learning process. I learned that being a CEO is not playing golf and flying private jets around. Although you're not going to see a lot of physical work that I do, there's a lot of work that I do as far as making decisions, making sure everyone is on task, and monitoring the company as a whole. So I'm more of a big picture guy as opposed to someone who you're actually going to see things done. You're not going to see press releases and marketing examples from me. You're going to see more approving those kinds of things.
And I would completely second that. I'm Cam. I'm the COO of this company. I am in charge of sales and purchasing and marketing. We more or less, decide where the company is going, how it's going to be efficient, our productivity of the company, and where exactly we want to be in a year or so. There's a lot of work that we do on a day-to-day basis that's not the same as it was before. If our company's lacking on the annual report, if it's not edited, me and Nick will take a look at it, make sure that it's up to date. But if say also that a student is not doing what he should be doing in the company, or he's not performing up to par, we'll take him back here, discuss what appropriate actions we should take and how we should go about that.
And then as a whole, as a company, most of the direction comes from Mr. Schmidt, but it doesn't come from Mr. Schmidt, our facilitator, directly. She usually talks to either of us, and then we pass it down to the employees. So it's definitely a unique program in the sense that students are the ones leading each other. I've never had to discipline someone prior to this that was a fellow student, and I've had to do it this year. It's a little unique in the sense that I have to tell the person that you need to get this work done, and they say, what are you going to do about it? You're not a teacher. And I'm like, well, in here, I'm your boss. So it's just like the real workplace in that sense. We call it a class, but it's really not a class at all. It's more, I actually think of it as a real business. If you wanted to tell me that I was working for Star City Sports, if you never told me this was fake, I would believe it.
Yeah, definitely. But, what pride people take in their work around here is what really shows off for the company as well. Nick was just talking about how you can imagine this being a real company. I mean, if you go on our website, it looks like an actual website there, and that was created only by a student. I mean, I can't stress that enough. Some people may not even believe it, but when people take passion in their work, that's what really shows the difference. Would you agree, Nick?
Yes. And what's unique in addition about that is we all get to utilize our individual strengths as far as what we work on. As Cam mentioned, the student created the website. He came in with that background. He knew that's exactly what he wanted to do within the company.
People really come out with their leadership in this class, and you can see, that as the year progresses. Some person may not be as strong of a leader as we hope to in our application process and us trying to get the job, but some other student may show that they have the capability of that, and we might promote them.
All right, two things that we worked on throughout the year that were a collaboration of all the departments were the business plan and the annual report. The business plan we created at the beginning of the year, and it stated the goals for our company and how we plan to achieve them. It included our individual mission statements, our marketing campaign, as well as our projected financial statements. We utilized this throughout the year to make decisions on what we were going to sell, how we were going to sell it, and we evaluated ourselves at the end of the year in the annual report. The annual report reflects on those goals we set at the beginning of the year in the business plan. The business plan and the annual report both had to be approved by Tennessee. So without utilizing the business plan at the beginning of the year, we would not be able to operate as a company. As I mentioned earlier, these two documents were a collaboration of everyone in the department. Each employee had their own specific requirements on what they were supposed to do, when they were supposed to do it, and they became an expert on the individual parts of the business plan. We learned a lot about each other as a company as far as our strengths and weaknesses when writing, as well as the important parts of a business plan, including the SWOT analysis, the projected budget, and the conclusion and executive summaries.
VEI is definitely one of the most beneficial classes I've taken here at St. Charles North. It gives you a really good in-depth view into the business world and what day-to-day activities could occur in an actual business that you may be working in the future. It gives us interview skills. We go through an interview process. We work in each department, and there's specific skills and tasks required of each department that we are required to do. We have a job shadowing day. We can go look at other departments and talk to people and see what they're exactly working on. But mainly the goal is to work as like a cohesive group and come together to our common goal, which is to make Star City Sports the best virtual company in the country. We are required in each department, like I said, to fulfill certain tasks. Marketing works on the commercial, marketing campaign, things along those lines. Accounting works with the finances. Human resources and admin work with the people part of the job, getting all the personnel files, doing the company newsletter, calendars. We have our chiefs that deal with overlooking all the departments, and we also have sales and purchasing that take a look into the selling and the inventory part of our company. I would say that this was probably the most beneficial class. Like I said, I've taken it North. It gave me a really in-depth look, and since I'm going to major in business in college, it gave me like a great way to build the skills and acquire certain aspects of the business world that I'm going to need in my future. It gave me real life situations that could occur. Every day, it's like Nick kind of said, it's a different situation. We come across new things and different occurrences that could happen, and we have to deal with them on our own. Our teacher doesn't really come and give us a solution to it. We have to work through it, and if we're having problems with other employees, we have to talk it out. We can't go and ask the teacher to help us. It's basically a very independent class, and it's unlike any of the other classes I've ever taken at North because it's different every day. We never do the exact same things. Every week we're working on new tasks to accomplish. Like right now we're working on an annual report, so things change and it's never the exact same thing. Like I kind of said, what I've taken away is just real life business experiences, and it's definitely going to make an impact for me with my goals of becoming huge in the business world, and definitely the skills pay off.
Hi, I'm Gina Anson, and I'm Chief Administration Officer. I oversee HR and admin, and in this department we do memos and letterheads, and our memos are usually just short little reminders about either what we're supposed to dress for when we have special visitors or something like that. And then our letterhead is just going to be our name, which is Star City Sports, and then our logo, and then increasing the competition. And we just send these out to the people that come in and they help us with they take time out of their own busy schedule and they come and they help us. We had a lawyer come in, and he came and he talked about employer and labor relations. So we just sent out this letterhead saying thank you for your time and thank you for what we learned. I also, to remind everybody, I text everybody too, just so that, because that's a lot easier nowadays instead of emailing and giving out memos.
I'm Stephen Gow. I work in the Human Resources Department, and I'll also be talking about the Admin Department.
In HR and Admin, what we like to do is we present the company every month with a SCX Express, which is our monthly newsletter, and we include factual information about the company and just some fun facts, just to ease your mind of all the work that we do every day. And for example, some of the things is we include information about prom, which was last week. So in our April newsletter, we had facts and information about prom, and we also like to include our annual report in it, which discusses about other departments. So HR and Admin will get an idea of what accounting and sales and purchasing is up to throughout the month and what they did the past month. And that helps because you're not always discussing with them what they're doing exactly. And with the annual report, you're able to get a better idea of what exactly they're doing. And some other information that we include are Employee of the Month. And that's nice because not only do you get recognized in our company meeting for Employee of the Month, but you get a little interview that goes in our monthly newsletter
newsletter, which everyone will have a chance to read. And another thing that our company does for HR and admin is we assign professional developments, and throughout the professional developments, each student has a chance to present from their class what theirs was. And I was lucky enough to do the shadow box, and how I did that was I presented about trade booths, about how you have the approach to talking to someone at a trade booth to draw them into your trade booth, and your attitude and how to close a deal and just stuff like that, just information to make your sales. And with the shadow box was, what happened was we divided each departments up, so you were assigned to someone in other departments, and you were able to work together once a week for about 3 weeks, and you were able to create what you wanted our trade booth to look like at the New York Trade Show. And another thing that our department does is we work on bulletin boards about once a month, and the bulletin board always includes about information about VEI, about Star City Sports, and then some just information about just what's going on like outside of our company. We also include information about what students need to take VEI for their next year course. They have to have their 2 years required business class. They have to be like dedicated. You don't want people to slack off in the class, and just information about the class in general. We do evaluation forms, which every month we evaluate the employees. So we have our VP of Human Resources hands out a little half sheet, and you have to evaluate yourself. You evaluate yourself, and you're able to see from your own perspective what you need to work on, and that's a little something that helps out a lot. And also we work on our employee handbook, and we always keep in our binders, and we refer to it when we need. And also we have our meeting agendas, which is once a week, and we dress up in our company t-shirts or polos, and we wear those, and we discuss what's going on in the company throughout the week and what's going on next week. And that's really nice because you're able to get a little heads up on just short-term stuff, and that's always a more positive.
My name is Anthony. I am currently the CFO of Star City Sports for its second year. And my name is David, and I'm an accounting employee. From the start, day one, we had to do a business plan. And we had to do all the financials for the next 3 years, as well as look back at the previous year to see how well we're doing. David was in charge of doing the balance sheet and income statement, and he will explain a little more about how he did that in the beginning of the year.
During the beginning of the year, when we did the income statement and balance sheet, we got most of our numbers off of the previous year. So we also had to change some of the numbers. I think we did like a 10% markup from last year because we're striving for bigger and better things this year. You kind of have to get a little creative with the numbers that you get. For example, for our rent expense, we needed to know the square footage of our classroom. So we took yardsticks and rulers and we measured the classroom, and we got the square feet, and then we called it a business, and we got a quota for that. Another example would be we called for an insurance expense. We called an insurance company, and we asked them what an insurance quota might be. So you kind of got to get a little creative with some of your expenses.
This all came back to doing with the budget. Since he gave those numbers, I'll explain how this went into the budget before he can give the balance sheet out, so it'll make a little more sense when I explain it. We used all these numbers to predict a budget on how much we would need for the whole year, coming from anything he said, expenses, loans, merchandise, how much would be taken out, and we did it on a yearly budget instead of our 8th month budget around, because we do have to pay insurance, rent, and a couple of those things over the next 4 months while we're not present. That way we can still keep up with it and not have a giant expense when we come back for the next term.
My name is Derek, and this is the Sales and Purchasing Department. On a day-to-day basis, basically we just we send out invoices and products. What I like most about VEI is that it's consistent. Every day we come to class, we know what we have to do, and we get it done each day.
All right, we're really glad you guys stopped in today, and we hope you enjoyed taking a look at Star City Sports. Thank you.
This has been an overview of the St. Charles North High School VEI Entrepreneurship Program in St. Charles, Illinois. The CR Project thanks Mrs. Schmidt for allowing us to videotape her students.